Alright guys, so here is the tutorial on the no collision and the air volume. This is important. This is really important stuff for creating your triggers and making things invisible and firing things off at the right time. Now here is a scenario where this is an entrance to a boss encounter. Imagine you enter a boss encounter here and then the fight's about to start. What developers would normally do right here is add a little trigger that might even play an animation or play a cinematic or something that kind of gets the boss ready. He laughs at you, oh, mortal challenges me, oh, pitiful. Whatever the case is, that would start the fight or start the encounter, start the event. So here's a couple of wrong ways that you would make this trigger. Naturally, or normally, we would have some sort of cube here that we can make as like a trigger. So I'll make it about the same size like so. And then if you make this invisible, we already know what that does. You make it invisible, it's still there. So now we are blocked from going in. Okay, we know that. It's step one, we know that works. Another thing you can do then is just put it on the floor, but then you are hoping the player doesn't do like a jump as he's entering, right? Because then you can skip that whole thing. So you will not want your trigger to actually be a solid object that requires the player to step on it, right? That would be your mistake. You don't want that. So what you would normally do is fill up this area so that this is the only way the player will get in, no matter if he's flying or jumping. And then the natural instinct here would be to check the no collision. And if you check the no collision and the thing is invisible, it seems like, you know, nothing happened. It's just you just walk right through it. So with the no collision now, we do have some drawbacks that will not make this work. So if I tag this box as box, what I'm gonna do is create a little action that is going to simply trigger when the player collides with the BOX that we tagged, and maybe just say a message. I'll say boss fight. Okay, if I play this, if you look in the bottom right corner there is nothing in that bottom right corner. I'm sorry, that's the bottom left corner anyways. Down here, bottom left, I should know my directions by now. Nothing, absolutely nothing shows up. The trigger isn't working. All right, but if I took it from being a collision, turn back on the collision here, you see that, oh, now it works. You can see right there, it says boss fight. I'll do it again, boss fight, but then we are blocked from going in. One way around this to get this to work is actually not to use the no collision. The no collision is useful in certain situations, but not in this situation. Imagine maybe just making some sort of hidden entrance, or maybe even like some sort of curtain. This could work for that, just having no collision and having the object still visible. That could work for that. But in this case, using the no collision turns off the actions from being fired when you use no collision. However, I'm going to show you one little hack that you can still use with the no collision. I'll show you one hack that you can use without the no collision. Is set it to pick up. Don't set any pickups, but just set it to pick up. And you see that what happens here is that you actually pick up the object, but it fires off the event at the same time. So I can't go back and do it again. But in some cases, that's good enough. In some cases, that works just fine. But in some cases where you do want it to stay, you want it to fire off but stay, another thing you can do is just set a really low number here for the respawn so it comes back immediately. That's one hack. But there is a functionality for this, and that's actually the one in here in the is trigger called air volume. Now, if you ever use like Unreal Engine, you know there's a trigger volume. It's the same as like the Unity 3D, where you have a on trigger enter. This is the air volume. So it counts as something you can walk through, but yet the collision part, so the action that has the collider, avatar collide, will still be able to fire off and detect that you're walking through it, because the collision is not turned off It doesn't. This is not checked. Therefore, you're still able to walk through it though because of this, and therefore the collisions, actions, and all that still work. So that's what the air volume is. Really awesome, and really good for. So now as I walk through here, you can see it does say boss fight. And if I walk right back through it, boss fight again and again. And it counts. There's no way I can go in here without triggering that, even if I jump, because it just makes perfect sense. All right, guys. So I know that was a quick tutorial, but yeah, that's it for you. Just wanted to show you guys what these checkbox and buttons, what they're all about, so you can use them in the most creative way possible and enjoy your time modding. Thank you for your time today. I'm Leeton, and I'll see you in the next one.